we go. The Ramblers and the Sycamores in Indiana State. First with the basketball, winning the tip. Devontae Brown, the senior. Basically, he and Smith put the game on their shoulders Wednesday against Missouri State, getting to the foul line and finishing things off there. 46 fouls were called in that physical contest, and a steal right away for Tyson Smith of the Ramblers.
Well, one of the concerns for Greg Lansing is ball security by his Sycamores. That was a stat he was going to look at the end of the game. First possession, a turnover by the team in blue.
Smith takes it into the lane. Now White, the steals leader on this Loyola team. Ingram splashes one in. It's a three-pointer for Dante Ingram.
Ingram with his 15th start. He had been more productive off the bench, but with the lineup switch, he gets the starting nod.
And on cue, a steal as White lays it in, and it's 5-0 Loyola. White starting for Peterson again. Peterson had started every game this year, but a hip injury in practice yesterday will not start. We'll see if he can come off the bench.
Well, they get some real pop off the bench for the Ramblers. They can bring in Milton Doyle, Montel James, who we highlighted to start this contest, and Devin Turk, the three-point assassin.
Van Soik with the layup after missing the three, and Indiana State is on the board. Van Soik, a dangerous three-point shooter, shoots 36%, not afraid to hoist him up there. He's second on the team in attempts to Brenton Scott, who we know can shoot that three and likes to shoot the three. This team shoots a ton of threes. Indiana State does. Loyola's problem has been shooting. Struggling from the floor so far this season. Smith cut off at the baseline. Rajala with the try, missing, and the rebound to Devontae Brown.
And Christian Smith is on Ben Richardson. They are not going to let Richardson get a look from the three-point line.
Loyola shooting just 42% from the floor this year, 34% from three. The miss there for Indiana State, and the ball will stay right here for the Sycamores. Rajala, the big man from Finland, 6'9" sophomore forward.
And Brandon Murphy, the emerging big man for the Sycamores, has not gotten a touch. See if they go into this possession.
Saw the three-point miss by Smith. He entered today's game just shooting 16% from three in 4 Valley Road games. He's an important player. Murphy gets the bounce. Brandon Murphy, the big man from Montgomery, Alabama.
Well, there's the touch we were looking for. The emerging big man, Brandon Murphy, soft hands, got the kind roll. I really like the way he's developed this season, Tom.
Oh, you're right. He really catches the ball well. Good rebounder, has quick feet, 275 pounds. And the pass inside of the basket for Ingram, who has 5 early points.
Ingram with a good start for the Ramblers. They may have to switch Christian Smith and put him on Dante Ingram.
Indiana State, a very good defensive team. Greg Lansing, 71-8 in his time in Terre Haute when holding opponents to 63 points or less.
Well, in his 5+ years in the Valley, Tom, Indiana State is third in Valley wins, just 1 win behind Northern Iowa. Of course, Wichita State leading the Valley over that 5-year period.
And here he has the Sycamores in position again with a 6-3 record in the Valley. Scott with the three-point make to tie the game.
And Scott needs no room at all to get that three ball off.
White asking for the screen from Rajala. Takes it all the way in, and a foul is called. We'll get Brandon Murphy, it would appear, as he was making his move. Let's take a look at our keys to the game. Made possible by Grinnell Mutual Insurance, where we provide a policy of working together.
Well, Indiana State's going to make you play left-handed. They're going to take away your strength with all that guard pressure, and their guards rebound the ball so well. Smith, Brown, Clemens, Scott, they go and get it. Loyola, they have to work through those scoring droughts, and they've got to get their guards in the active rebound. They need some help for James and Ingram on the glass.
Murphy was indeed called for the foul, first foul of the game. Tie game between Indiana State and Loyola. That one blocked by Rickman, a tremendous freshman talent out of Collinsville, Illinois, already making his impact felt, blocking the Ingram shot.
The Sycamores have 2 young post players And Murphy and Rickman are going to be very, very good in this league.
Scott misses short. Brown, a good rebounding guard, tried to get it. Loyola 3-on-2, and now they back it out. Richardson to White. Finds Smith. He takes the three. And the rebound to Scott.
Well, last possession, James posted up inside. Let's get Montel some touches and let him go to work on Rickman or Murphy.
Van Soik passes out of the double team. They reverse it to Clemens. Now Scott with the shot clock at 10. You know what that means.
Well, Rickman's got the mismatch.
He didn't take the shot, though, and here comes White up against Brown with the left-handed lay-in, and the Ramblers go back on top.
Well, Tom, that's 3 turnovers by Indiana State, and the Ramblers have made the Sycamores pay on each trip.
We mentioned Jeff White. He is Loyola's steal leader, and he already has 2 in the game. Clemens in the game for Indiana State. Very good guard off the bench, but for right now, it is State by 2. Coming out of the timeout, Indiana State basketball. Richardson hounding Devontae Brown. Brown 8th nationally in getting to the free throw line. 170 free throw attempts this season.
Brown gets almost 8 times a game.
Good to see Devin Turk get on the board. Turk back from a hamstring injury. He was good to go this morning, so he comes off the bench and contributes. And also off the bench, leading scorer, Milton Doyle. That's been a change by Porter Moser.
And also Earl Peterson with the hip injury is in the lineup.
Peterson back on the floor. A hip injury kept him out of the starting lineup. They'll keep a close eye on him. Again, he suffered that injury yesterday in practice. So a bit of a surprise. He tries to close out on Van Soik, who buries a 3.
Well, that's what Van Soik does. He is the ultimate stretch 4-man. Kind of gets lost in the shuffle and finds that 3-point line. And his teammates know where to find Van Soik.
Whistle on the sideline, and it'll be Indiana State ball right in front of its own bench.
Well, I asked Greg Lansing, what are the 2 stats you're most concerned about? And he said, turnovers by our team. He has 3. And field goal defense. Well, the Ramblers are shooting 57%.
Brown goes baseline. They bring it out to Scott, and he knocks down the 3. And Brenton Scott, who shoots them at a 42% clip, hits a 3. He has 2 already. James driving baseline, and a foul called there. Boy, Brenton Scott can score in a hurry, not afraid to take the shot. Never afraid.
Well, we said he has amnesia. Does not remember that last miss, and those are great players to have because they have extreme confidence in their ability to knock down shots. Brenton Scott has been on a tear.
Scott with 6 early points, and now Indiana State gets the ball back. Up by 2. NCAA March Madness is headed to St. Louis, and you can be there to share the experience with your family and friends. It's the 2016 NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship, first and second rounds, March 18th and 20th at Scott Trade Center. Visit ncaa.com/MBB tickets to score your tickets and view hospitality options. Clemens holds on to the ball. The count underway. Crowd wanted a 5-second call, won't get it. Here's Smith. Stops, finds Boone-Scoten. Niels Boone-Scoten is blocked. That one goes out of bounds. It'll stay with the Sycamores.
This is great defense on the perimeter, and they force him into a late clock. Now the officials are trying to decide if the shot clock did go off.
Should be, and it is. Shot clock violation against Indiana State. So good stop there for Loyola.
Well, Tom, these are 2 teams that pride themselves on ball pressure. They have the players and the talent to come out and take you out of your offense. Excellent defensive stand by Loyola.
Porter Moser knows he must win games, not only by defending, which has always been a strong point of his teams, but they must make shots. It sounds pretty basic, but this team has really struggled shooting the basketball. James retrieves the pass from Doyle. That's one way to get on the board. The high percentage shot, Doyle to James.
Well, James, with just a little shake over his right shoulder, he froze Murphy, then came back over the left shoulder with a soft baby hook.
Has some terrific inside moves. Murphy blocked by James, and it stays with the Sycamores.
You can see Porter's Mosier's playing on the post. They're going to double Murphy, see if he passes out. Murphy turns away from it, but James, excellent timing, and redirects that shot.
Shot clock under 10. Murphy, double team, goes to Scott. Sweeps around. Boone-Scoten for three. Well shy. He was missing in the last game against Missouri State. Turk, he's improved that. The mid-range jumper pulls up, hits it, and Devin Turk, Loyola's all-time three-point shooting leader, shows another part of his game.
Well, he's known as a three-point shooter, but has improved so much in that pull-up range and that mid-range jumper.
Backcourt violation as the ball went through the hands of Boone-Scoten.
But that is the exact same position they were in a year ago. Huge run in February for the Ramblers.
Yeah, remember, they went crazy. I mean, they played very well in February, and in March they won the CBI. You know, this is a team that put up 24 wins last year.
Yeah, Christian Thomas is gone off that team, and that was kind of their alpha dog player. They're looking for that same type of mentality for someone on this team.
Certainly have the talent to do it.
Joe Crispin, Christian Thomas, both graduated.
Pass to James from Jeff White. I'll tell you, Jeff White is playing very well today. He came in, started for Earl Peterson, and he's everywhere. White with 4 points, has 2 assists and 2 steals. 6-0 run for Loyola.
Yeah, White needs just 15 more assists to be in the top 10 for Loyola. And this is great penetration by number 23, Jeff White, right down Main Street. Excellent vision. And the receiver, Montel, with his hands ready. And James finishes with authority.
Another rising star in the league. The top of the key right there is Laquarius Page. Very quick guard, multi-talented. Watch him in the league in the coming years. Just a freshman. The senior Smith in the lane scoring on Turk. Wow, that was impressive.
Well, it was 4 out, 1 in. It left those driving lanes open. Smith at 6'6", takes it right into the paint, scores a basket.
Loyola has made its last 4 shots, 2 each by Turk and James. A near steal by Page, and making it pay with the open shot is White, and he turned around and gave him a quick little glance. Perhaps just to see where he was on the floor. I'm sure that was it.
Well, White's 3 for 3 with 2 assists, playing an excellent game. And there, White comes from the weak side, makes the strip on Murphy.
I'm telling you, he has the look in his eye today, and Jeff White is playing a great basketball game, at least in these first 10 minutes.
Well, Tom, it's called senior urgency. When you get close to February 1st and you're a senior, boy, that you can see the end of the season coming. You play every game like it's your last, and that's what we're seeing Jeff White do.
Very few games remaining in this great building. What a basket by Christian Smith as Montel James came flying in to try to block it. A 3 by Smith.
Well, Smith, 1,000-point score, and he scored that 1,000-point against Loyola the first time they met on January 2nd. He likes seeing this blue and white.
James can't answer. Rebound taken by Smith. Smith and Devontae Brown, the senior leadership on this Indiana State team. And Smith lets go another 3 and misses that. James with the rebound.
Devontae Brown has been quiet for the first 10 minutes of this game.
Ingram to White, driving on Page, turnaround. Jeff White is in the zone today. What a game for White, already 8 points.
In the groove, baby. He's like that golf swing. Jeff White filling it up for the Ramblers.
Just give him the ball. 3 from Brown, that's not his forte. Murphy fighting for it underneath. They're going to call a foul on Devin Turk. Metro Transit is offering an all-inclusive 5-day fan pass for just $23.50. The fan pass is valid for unlimited riding March 3rd through the 6th on Metrolink, Metro Bus, and the St. Louis Downtown Trolley during Arch Madness 2016. Purchase your fan pass at metrostore.org. Loyola on top by 3. Long 3 from Scott. Rebound grabbed by Rajala. Smith guarded by Scott. Ingram tries to spin. Rajala was there to catch the ball and score. First points for Julius Rajala.
That is offense by accident. As Ingram lost the handle, Rajala picked it up. Easy 2 off the window.
Biggest lead of the game for Loyola, 5, and Scott fouled and hit hard in the face. Richardson looked like he was popped right in the nose. Oh, ouch. Right eye as well as he wipes it off, stays in the game.
Now, these are the first free throw attempts in this game for Indiana State. That was a big key for Porter Moser. And when this game was played in Terre Haute, the Sycamores went there 25 times. Huge key for Porter was to keep this team in blue off the free throw line.
That is 12 straight free throws made by Brenton Scott. Shooting 80% from the line. 13 in a row now for Brenton Scott.
Well, this Indiana State team had a kind of a tough going non-conference. When you look at their stats, everyone has improved in league play in field goal percentage, free throw percentage. Brown has, Scott has tremendously, Rickman, Murphy. They've all upped their game in Valley play.
Loyola by 3. Doyle floats it inside. Rajala runs out of room. Peterson to Doyle. Now Ingram. Yes. Dante Ingram's having a game. A 3-pointer, 8 points for him.
Well, Ingram's just a sophomore, so he doesn't have that senior urgency like White does, but Ingram off to a great start.
Van Soik, he can make those all day, and hits that 3.
Well, in fact, the transfer from Citadel doesn't shoot a whole lot inside the arc. Van Soik prefers to toe the line.
Ingram with a bit of a heat check, missing that. Clemens tries to cross over Doyle. Van Soik, same spot, no. Doyle can't get the board, tipped it to Clemens. Great move on Peterson, getting by the guard and scoring.
Well, Clemens, one of the great rebounders in the league and in the country at 6'1". In league play, he's getting over 8 rebounds a game.
Oh, he really is a terrific rebounder. There's a great eye for it. Richardson with the 3.
Well, you can see his right eye still all red from taking that shot, but Richardson still able to find the twine.
Loyola 3 for 6 from 3-point range. There's the shooting they needed. Shooting 72% from the floor as Scott drives in and is fouled. He'll shoot free throws when
game for Loyola. He is 3 of 5. He's knocked in a pair of triples. He's got 8 points already in this game. Ingram only averaging just under 7.
Scott, the 80% free throw shooter, has now made 14 in a row, and that's 15 straight for Brenton Scott.
So just a beautiful high arc release, holds the follow through. You're going to take a class in shooting the basketball. Brenton Scott is a young man you want to study.
Bolton Doyle has yet to get on the board. Peterson, no, and a rebound. Rickman just ripped it away. Clemens feeds Scott.
Transition defense by Loyola has been excellent. They're taking away the 3-ball transition and stopping ball penetration. Wise decision by Rickman. A little bit out of his comfort range.
Shot clock at 7. Brown, the 3. Yes, Devontae Brown Brown is a 26% three-point shooter, but has tied the game for the third time today. It's 29 all.
Well, Brown is a junkyard dog. His stats don't always show this game. He's going to hit big shots at big times.
James with the nice footwork, can't get it to go. Here's Clemens.
Well, I still like to see him get James more touches. He short-armed that little shot, but he certainly made a great move to get open.
Scott from inside three. Rickman had the ball for a moment, but it was poked away. Here's Peterson.
And Peterson, with the injured hip, has played well here for the Ramblers. Has not scored, but has been very active on the glass and the defensive end.
Richardson finds him. Peterson, he can slash, falls, and slow to get up on the baseline. In the meantime, Devontae Brown drives in. No shot, but a foul is called.
Well, that is what the Sycamores do to you. Quick hands, and then anyone can attack in transition. And this is also how they finish. They attack, throw their body into you, get to the free throw line. This will be the 5th and 6th trip for the Sycamores. And the Ramblers have yet to get to the stripe. My bad, this is going to be ball underneath.
Peterson, you can see him in the background there on the bench, comes out of the game. Turk checks in. Peterson just trying to walk off that injured hip at the moment. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Loyola's ball. Stay tuned for our halftime report. Presentation of State Farm, which reminds you we exist to assist. We'll learn a little more about Devontae Brown, hear from the coaches, and we'll recap this first half. It's been a good one. Good half, tied here in Chicago.
Turnover number 6 for the Sycamores, and you had them against Missouri State, Tom. Well, they had 16 turnovers, so it's become an issue for the team in blue.
Clemens driving on Turk and can't get that one to go. Doyle to Turk, behind the back, Devin driving in, and he gets the roll. Devin Turk, the senior from Houston.
Turk, great defensive stand, as he did not foul, and then got the clubhouse roll at the other end.
Turk perfect from the floor. Here's a steal. It's Doyle. He has James. Now he decides to back it out. Smith guarding him.
Well, good decision by Doyle, because he didn't quite have his handle.
And Turk hits the three.
The patience of Doyle, the composure of Doyle, and Turk on the weak side toeing the line. Great three-point shooter, Devin Turk, back healthy again.
Entered today's game shooting just 14% from beyond the arc. In his last 6 games, he was 3 of 21 from 3. And now he knocks down a big one. He's perfect from the floor, 4 for 4, and here comes Loyola again. White with a tremendous move, and Jeff White with the fake and the score.
Little changes speeds by White, little hesitation, and go as Jeff.
Point total from the last game against Wichita State. He has 10. He had 5 in that game.
And Devin Turk off the bench, coming back from the hamstring injury. Turk, 4 for 4 for the Ramblers, and they have 13 points off the bench.
That miss by Smith. Good rebound for Doyle, trying to build on this lead. Loyola playing with an extra step. Turk, the pull-up. He's got it. Devin Turk continues this sizzling shooting by Loyola, now 70% from the floor.
And Turk with 11 points in 10 minutes of play.
Coming off a hamstring injury. What an early, strong performance by Turk, and Loyola on a 9-0 run. The miss and the offensive foul on Everett Clemens.
Montel James, he smelled this out early, Tom. Look at him get over there now when he sees the corner turn, holds his ground, arms to the ceiling. Superb defensive play by the senior Montel James, and that is another turnover for Indiana State. Number 8.
Indiana State in a scoring drought of over 3.5 minutes. James spins around Burnett and scores. continues to show the footwork inside.
Well, James can feel you on his body, has that quick spin move. Otherwise, he can turn and face and try to go by you. I really like his game. He's got to be consistent in both halves for Loyola.
You can see the pressure defense on the perimeter by Loyola, not allowing Indiana State to get off a clean shot, and that one goes off Smith.
Well, you got to feed the beast if you're Loyola, and the beast is Montel James. Watch this great early footwork. Has to go get a bad pass. Freezes his defender with a little head fake. Spin move, 2 points for Montel James.
Loyola's made its last 5 shots, an 11-0 run over the last 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Meanwhile, Indiana State with 4 turnovers in the last 6 possessions, and there's a turnover by Loyola. Burnett to Scott. Brenton Scott with 10 points to lead the Sycamores. Brown behind the back. Pull up, no. Long rebound to Scott. Indiana State with 2 big-time scorers in Brown and Scott, and Devontae Brown finds a way to get the basket. So that ends a scoring drought of nearly 5 minutes for Indiana State. Their last lead was at the 13:31 mark. Biggest lead of the game for the Ramblers was 11. It's now 9. And of all of that, their leading scorer, Milton Doyle, has yet to score. It's been all Devin Turk. And Turk with the miss on the foul. He has scored 7 of Loyola's last 9 points. And he goes to the free throw line. Devin Turk, a senior. We mentioned the all-time leading three-point shooter here at Loyola. But with teams really keying on that and not allowing him open looks, plus he's had difficulty making them, he's really developed a more aggressive approach, knocking down mid-range jumpers and attacking the lane. A 31% three-point shooter this year. Doesn't get to the line as much as he'd like, but right now 11 of 16 on the season, and the miss there.
But Tom, you got to remember, Turk is also the all-time leader in three-point makes in Loyola history.
Number 1 in school history. Richardson to White, looks up at the clock. 32 seconds on the game clock, 15 on the shot clock. White has had a tremendous half, 10 points, and what loses it. And here is Scott. He stops. A 3. Yes, Brenton Scott, and he can do it. Loves to stop and pop.
Well, Tom, he actually redirected that shot as White came up from behind, kind of hesitated, then re-squared himself. Fantastic shot by Brenton Scott.
Another turnover and a foul on the half-court line. Brenton Scott stops and does it just in midair to drain that shot. What an athletic play.
He was coming right at me here underneath the basket, and that was a fantastic body control by Brenton Scott to redirect that shot, because White was sneaking up behind him. Great feel by Scott as he knew the defender was coming.
Scott with 13 points, leads all players. Devin Turk with 12 for Loyola as they let it go. The miss for Devontae Brown, but a strong finish for Indiana. This team can score in a hurry. Etna proudly presents the second half of the Missouri Valley Conference Game of the Week.
As I mentioned to Greg, 72%, but only down 7. Loyola can't keep this pace up the second half, you would think, if you're the Sycamores.
The drive and the foul. And so right away, Loyola attacking, and you know that Porter Moser knew what was happening in that other locker room. That this team, I mean, that is a fighter over there, Greg Lansing.
And good answers. Richardson puts it on the deck, drives to the hoop and gets to the free throw line. Take a little of that energy away from the Sycamores.
Absolutely. The MVC Fan Hangout is the perfect gathering place before and after games during Arch Madness. It's located at Ballpark Village in downtown St. Louis, just across the street from Busch Stadium. For additional information, visit archmadness.com/fans. Richardson can't get the free throw to go.
And he excellent free throw shooter. Only missed one coming in this game, so 1 for 2 out of Ben Richardson is very rare.
Right away, the attack from Devontae Brown, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Oh, excellent point. We knew what Indiana State was going to do. At the offensive end, let's attack and get to the free throw line. This is a team that makes almost 17 free throws per game. They were there 4 times in the first half. And this guy, Brown, leads them in the attack.
He is 8th in the nation at free throw attempts, 170. He is 9th in the nation at free throw makes, 130. Only 9 fouls were called in the first half. By contrast, 46 fouls were called in Indiana State's last game against Missouri State. That was on Wednesday night.
Well, we've just had 3 called in the first 31 seconds of the second half. So they're going to try and make up for it, Tom.
Foul on Van Soik, his first. Second team foul for Indiana State. Jeff White with a great first half. The senior had 10 points for Loyola. He has the ball at the top of your screen.
Of course, Turk was excellent. And a huge start by Dante Ingram.
The toss to Smith and the miss. Rebound tipped, and Murphy trying to tap it to Smith was fouled by Rajala.
Well, now that's 4 fouls in the first 56 seconds of this second half. So we're getting a little bit back to normal for the way these teams play.
Officials, you know, not to speak for them, but they probably knew what was coming here in the second half. These teams, in particular Indiana State, is going to try to be physical. Here's the toss. Van Soik loves that spot, and Van Soik hits the 3. That is his 3rd 3 of the game. He has 11 points.
Van Soik is transferred from the Citadel. He has a knack for getting open, especially on that left corner. Little pick and pop guy, or he'll fade out there when his defender turns his head. Matt Van Soik.
He was struggling on the road, 2 of 11 from the floor in his last 2 road games, but he's 3 for 5 today from 3. And the drive and basket, and Jeff White, part of another great play.
White has been sensational. Now 6 for 6.
And Van Soik answers with a 3. Make it 4 threes for Matt Van Soik.
So 4 of 6 from outside the arc. And these are 2 teams that pride themselves in defense. High-scoring game. Not what I expected today.
Ingram with a great look to Smith. And a foul is called as Tyson Smith, he's upset that he didn't make it.
Ingram anticipating the double team. Knew Smith was coming as soon as he caught the ball. The double team came. Quick release by Ingram. Very impressed by the sophomore. Has had a excellent first half and now continue it in the second half.
72% shooting in the first half for Loyola. That's the highest in any half by Loyola since shooting 83% against Abilene Christian last year. It was a great breath of fresh air for this Loyola team.
Well, Tom, this guy at the free throw line, Tyson Smith, had not played much. And when they did, Porter did the shakeup of the lineup 4 games ago, 5 games ago now, this is the guy he inserted. Tyson Smith, and they have played very well since then.
Today's Missouri Valley Conference scores, a presentation of Grinnell Mutual Insurance, where we provide a policy of working together. Illinois State leading Missouri State, tied with Indiana State in the standings, so we'll be watching that closely. Both of those teams at 6 and 3, and Bradley beats Drake. Drake winless in conference play this season. The miss by Scott, scramble, and Ingram comes up with it.
And that Bradley win was at the Knapp Center in Des Moines.
White with the miss, the rebound, basket by Rajala.
Rajala Did just what you teach your big men to do. Keep it high. Hardly jumped off the floor. You could have put a phone book underneath him, but still able to converse. He kept the ball above his head.
And the pass inside and a foul before the dish. Correction on that score. The graphic actually was incorrect. Drake did win the game 80-70 over Bradley. So the first win for Drake in Valley play, beating Bradley 80-70. And Missouri State has jumped out to a lead over Illinois State. Just went on a little run to take a 2-point lead early going in the second half, 37-35.
Paul Lusk has that team playing well. Missouri State. And I was a little surprised. I thought Drake could get a W today at home against Bradley and Ray Giacoletti. First win for that very young Bulldog team.
Richardson checks out of the game. And so Loyola protecting a 7-point lead and a steal by Doyle. Doyle has yet to score. He gives it up, and the basket and the foul. Flying in was Earl Peterson, who's playing hurt. He gets his first basket.
Here's how Milton Doyle affects the game other than scoring. First, he makes the steal. He understands the pace and the space. He sees his teammate coming out of the corner of his eye. And Peterson, with the bad hip, finishes. Peterson
Finishes the three-point play. And it's a 10-point lead. Peterson with 3 points.
He was great in that run to the CBI championship. His named MVP, Earl Peterson.
Smith stops a 7-0 run by Loyola.
Quick answer by Indiana State. Made free throw, scored within 5 seconds.
Smith, a do-everything player for Indiana State with 2 fouls. Keep an eye on that. I want to get him in foul trouble. James tries to move on Boone-Scoten and does get the basket.
Well, Indiana State is hesitating before they double-team James, and he's quick enough to split the defenders and the double-team and get it to the rim. I still think James has to get more touches.
Scott double-teamed. Gets it back, open 3, yes. Oh, they found Brent Scott for an opening, and he knocked it down.
And Scott, the assassin.
Now with 16 points to lead all scorers. 4 of 7 from three-point range. Shot clock under 10 for James. Driving on Boone-Scoten, pushes him out of the way, and they call it travel instead on Montel James. Indiana
This league, get these teams on television. It's an outstanding job. She should be proud of her son.
Out of bounds, it'll go back to Loyola. Oh, what Jack Watkins and his staff do from a media standpoint, from an event standpoint, they run an incredible tournament. The Missouri Valley Conference men's basketball tournament, Arch Madness, is run like a Final Four. And then on top of that, the Missouri Valley Conference is the host of the NCAA tournament. First and second round, March 18th and 20th at Scottrade Center. And he and his staff operate that and do a phenomenal job.
Esther's son is going to be very busy in the month of March.
Milton Doyle with the miss. So happy birthday, Esther. Hope you're enjoying some Valley basketball with us. And we have a good game for you on your birthday as the drive by Devontae Brown and a foul is called. Foul called on Milton Doyle. That's his first. 5th foul on Loyola. 4 fouls this half on Indiana State. 9 fouls total. That matches what we saw in the first half, and we're just 5 minutes in. The feed to Rickman. He goes inside to Clemens, who gets the roll, the basket, and the foul.
Everett Clemens, 6'1". Look at that cut, basket cut. And he can score in traffic. He can score against bigger defenders. We mentioned one of the best rebounders in the league at just 6'1", 180 pounds, a junior. sends junior college by way of Springfield, Illinois.
There's some good players in the Valley out of Springfield, Illinois. Clemens is one of them.
Clemens with 16 rebounds. The game at Southern Illinois.
Another good up-and-coming player at Missouri State, Obadiah Church, their center from Springfield, Illinois.
Oh, if I had 16 rebounds all season, it's 16 in one game at 6'1".
Turk with the drive. Devin Turk is fouled and makes the basket. Turk with 14 points.
Well, Turk has been tremendous. Had the hamstring pull, but has not bothered him in this game as he exploded time and time again. You talked about his mid-range game. He also has developed the ability to get all the way to the rim, absorb contact, keep his eye on the prize, and finish.
Turk coming back from the hamstring injury. And remember, the last 3 games before today, Northern Iowa, 0 points. Evansville, 2 points. Drake, 0. Today, 15 points for Devin Turk. Perfect from the floor. 6 for 6.
He's also become a much better defender on and off the ball.
Clemens with another strong basket. Not afraid to go inside and score.
Well, Clemens starting to make an impact here in the second half. We saw the basket cut and the score, and then that time just took it right into his man and kisses it off the window. You can see Indiana State, they're really trying to drive the ball here in the second half.
Clemens nearly had a steal, knocked it out of bounds. It stays with Loyola.
Everett Clemens, the junior, little crossover, bump. No call, but English off the window for number 0, Everett Clemens.
Doyle for 3. Yes! Milton Doyle's first points of the game, and with that basket, Milton Doyle has now become the 42nd player in Loyola history to have 1,000 career points. 1,002 as Rickman answers on the other end.
And Doyle, just a junior, surpassed that 1,000-point mark.
And Turk on the other side. Devin Turk continues to add to his total, now 17.
Well, we said Jeff White was in the zone in the first half. Turk has been in the zone the entire game.
And on the other end, Clemens again. Everett Clemens has been able to light it up here in the second half. He has 9.
Well, this is 2 teams that pride themselves on all-ball defense, but neither team can stop the other from getting to the rim here in the second half. What a shootout.
Doyle with the drive and the foul before the shot. Doyle, originally a Kansas commit, came back to his hometown of Chicago, and he plays in front of family and friends here at Loyola.
When Porter Mosier did the lineup shakeup 5 games ago, Doyle was the guy that went to the bench. Coach Mosier has talked about what a great response from Milton Doyle.
James misses long. Smith with the rebound to Clemens.
Doyle didn't pout. He just kept playing, and
he has been a man here in the second half. Everett Clemens with another strong drive for the Indiana State guard. Clemens has scored 9 of Indiana State's last 11. Clemens has 11 for the game. Doyle really dribbled into trouble. Now James. And he's fouled by Rickman, and James will get a couple of free throws. Rickman commits his second foul, the freshman from Collinsville. Very high ceiling. Great leaping ability. He will just get better and better.
Well, the senior, Montel James, though, taking the youngster to school.
Just love the work that he does inside. Such quick feet. Love the spin move. And he breaks that out.
Well, here's where else he's improved. He shot it from the free throw line 56% last year. That's increased to 74% his senior year for Montel James. Great work in the offseason to improve a weakness. Now when you can trust your big man, Tom, and you can give him the ball, knowing that if he gets fouled, he's going to convert. James knocks them both in.
James with 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks. And Loyola has a 6-point lead. Clemens, he has been scoring at will in the last several minutes. Scott, the pull-up. Brenton Scott knocks down another.
This league is full of great scoring guards. You've got Ron Baker, you've got DJ Ballantyne, Anthony Bean. Brenton Scott is right in that discussion. The best guards in the Valley.
The drive and basket by Tyson Smith. And Smith now with 6 points.
Smith just willed that one to the basket. Put it right into traffic.
See that drive. The quickness of Page.
At 67%. Both these teams been on fire here in the second half. And teams that pride themselves in defense.
L'Aquarius Page, an exciting redshirt freshman guard from West Orange, Texas, plays the piano as well. In fact, last year on senior day, played the piano for the national anthem. Excited the crowd. Probably impressed his teammates.
And his coach.
Certain of that, and definitely his coach. Proud coach Greg Lansing.
His brother tear to Coach Lansing's eye. So moved by it.
The miss there by Turk, but a new shot clock. The rebound goes to White.
Well, this is turning into quite a rivalry between these two schools. Indiana State swept them last year, but in the tournament, Loyola started their run into the CBI as they beat.
Doyle with the miss, tap back, rebound, and Turk gets it, and a new shot clock again. Turk, by the way, just missed his first shot of the game. He and White a combined 13 of 15 from the floor.
And Indiana State swept them during the season, but in the tournament, Loyola won that game 81-53. Greg Lansing put that number on the code to his team's locker room all summer. 8153. They had to punch it every day to get into the locker room. Motivation for the Sycamores.
Gotta love that guy, Greg Lansing.
He finds more ways to motivate his squad. That was a great one. 8153.
The miss by Page. Here comes Smith with a full head of steam, and Clemens able to knock it away from him. James finds Turk, the three. A scramble, and now here's Scott.
And Porter Mosher telling us about that victory, that 81-53 victory over the Sycamores in the tournament. Really got them propelled into the CBI, where they made the run and brought home the CBI championship to the city of Chicago and Loyola's campus.
Scott with the miss, 4 of 8 from 3 today. 5-point lead for Loyola. And that one rolls in. Devin Turk with 19 points.
Well, Turk created the contact, stopped his drive, then a little step back fadeaway, readjusted. Turk, red hot for the Ramblers.
Nowhere to go for Clemens. Finds Christian Smith. Smith with the shot clock at 10. Calls for a screen from Rickman. Clemens with the shot clock at 3. 2. Need to get one away and can't. A good stop for Loyola. The Ramblers holding on to a 7-point lead at the 8:26 mark.
For the frustrated Greg Lansing. And the crowd is getting into this game. You can hear the chant for the Ramblers to play some defense. Excellent stop by Loyola.
This is not only one of my favorite places to visit to watch a game in the Valley, but maybe anywhere. I just love the size of it. I love the location of the campus. You can walk to the game If you live right around here, great spot. Great place to watch a game.
My son Calvin is a 2009 graduate of Loyola. He's an archaeologist now. He came with me today's game. He was amazed at how much this campus has changed in the 7 years since he left.
This Gentile Arena is located inside a student center with a food court, meeting rooms, multiple floors. The basketball offices here are beautiful. And then this gym is just tremendous. The drive by Brown and a foul called. When we come back from the break, Devontae Brown will do it.
Every time Indiana State closes the gap, the senior, Devin Turk, makes a play. He's 8 for 10 with 19 points. He makes a play for the Ramblers to keep that 7, 8, 9-point edge.
Devontae Brown, for the most part, has been kept off the score sheet. He has 6 points, averaging 16 a game, and gets the free throw to go. Devontae Brown, 3 of 4 from the charity stripe, 7 points, and a 7-point deficit for Indiana State.
The Ramblers have kept Brown off the free throw line, and now Indiana State with a little three-quarter court pressure. Back to man-to-man.
Earl Peterson playing with that injured hip. Heard it yesterday. Came off the bench today. First time this season he had done that. The foul is called inside. Goes against Brandon Murphy.
Montel James with some great footwork as they reverse the ball, heading in. Murphy hooked Montel's arm, and now James back at the free throw line.
Montel James closing in on a double-double. Free throw good for James.
Well, one of the keys for James was to put two halves together, and he is doing it today. As you said, approaching a double-double. He had 14 and 12 on that huge win at the McLeod Center over Northern Iowa. 14 and 14. Illinois State game.
The lead is back to 9. Right now in Springfield, Illinois State holding on to a 2-point lead at Missouri State, 59-57 with 6.5 to go. Illinois State 6 and 3 in the league. Indiana State is 6 and 3. Struggling here though. The miss, and here comes Doyle and the Ramblers.
Well, Indiana State trying to stay in the upper division, stay within reach of Wichita State and certainly of Evansville and Southern Illinois. And this Loyola team, we saw what they did in February last year. This is a team with great experience and tremendous potential.
Turk had it taken away by Scott, and then he fouled Scott. Scott is perfect from the floor today. That is the 9th foul on Loyola. Next one will put Indiana State in a double bonus. The 2016 St. Louis Cardinals season is just around the corner. 10 and 5 game packs and all-inclusive tickets are on sale now. Get yours today at Cardinals.com.
Well, Tom, what Devin Turk did, he used to call it the double mess-up. He turns it over, and then he knows he made a mistake. Then he fouls, creates the double mistake. The senior's got to be smarter than that.
That is 17 straight free throws made by Brenton Scott, who comes out of the game. Everett Clemens is in there along with Devontae Brown, Matt Van Soyk, Christian Smith, and Brandon Murphy. That's the lineup for Indiana State with 6:50 to go. Doyle, Peterson, Turk, James, and Richardson on the floor for Loyola.
And Peterson with the ball in his hands, just making the pass. Questionable whether he's going to play today. He's performed quite well after going down with that injury in practice.
Here he is, good pass out of the double team to Richardson, who makes the three, and Loyola builds the lead back to 10.
A really nice misdirection play. Pearson takes it back to the middle of the floor.
Van Soyk connects. And Matt Van Soyk has 16 points. You know, he had a combined 14 in his last 4 games before today. That's 16 just today.
This Loyola team has been red hot, but Indiana State will not go away. They keep hanging in there.
Doyle with an open three. And the rebound to Clemens. Clemens pushing it. Good bounce into Murphy. He'll go to the line. Brandon Murphy is fouled. The big 275-pounder out of Montgomery, Alabama. And he is quick.
Oh, he's got nimble feet, soft hands, and that was a difficult catch. And an excellent free throw shooter. That young man looks like he eats weights for breakfast.
Murphy with the miss. Murphy, a 64% free throw shooter. That one doesn't draw iron, and they'll let him hear about it. Today's date in MVC history is brought to you by the 2016 State Farm MVC Men's Basketball Tournament at Scott Trade Center in St. Louis. January 30th, 1978, Loyola receives 21 points from Andre Wakefield and 18 points and 23 rebounds from Larry Knight. The Ramblers posted a 79-76 win over Indiana State at Alumni Gym. The madness starts at the Arch March 3rd through the 6th as Arch Madness returns to St. Louis for a 26th straight year. For more information, go to archmadness.com. James can't get that one to fall, but he'll go to the line and shoot 2. And for Montel James, an opportunity to add to his 14-point total.
And Montel James wants the basketball, and again, he splits the double team before it arrives. Back at the free throw line, number 24.
James is 74% free throw shooter. And for today, he is perfect from the line, now 5 for 5.
Well, the big dog, he wants the ball, so you got to feed the big man underneath.
Loyola, a good free throw shooting team, 72%. Kind of odd in that teams shoot 73% from the line against them. You don't see that very often, a percentage that high against you, but that's what they've run into. And James gets a big hand as he checks out of the game. 16 points and 8 rebounds for Montel James, and a 10-point lead nearing 5 minutes. Brown, tough shot. Richardson fights with it, gets it away from Brown, goes around Van Soyk, can't get the ball to fall, and the rebound is Smith.
Well, Richardson took it into the teeth of the beast. He might have been better off pulling that ball out, waiting for some teammates. He tried to score on 3 blue jerseys.
Clemens drives, the bounce to Brown, and he gets the basket and the foul.
A penetration, draw the defender. This is by Clemens. He gets White to come up, then White recovers late. Brown, strong finish.
Jeff White was down for a moment, now helped up by his teammates. So Devontae Brown back to the free throw line, where he's 3 of 4.
I really like the way Porter Mosier has used his bench. Of course, he's got guys who started the games, and Turk and Doyle and James come off the bench, but he has brought fresh players in, and they've all performed well for Loyola.
Brown completes the 3-point play. Devontae Brown into double figures again. He has 10 points.
41 bench points for the Ramblers. That's a little deceiving, as we said, because Doyle was a starter most of the year, along with James and Turk, but still 41 points off that bench.
Loyola's bench has outscored its opponents in 7 of 9 Valley games. Can't get that to go. And now a big possession here for Indiana State. This could make things very interesting. Brown attacking, goes in on 2 Ramblers, can't get it to go. James and Clemens tied up. James rips it away from him.
Well, Brown attacks, but he doesn't get the call. Creates a little contact. And then the battle for the loose ball. And again, Montel James back at the free throw line for the Ramblers.
James came off the bench today to score 16 points. Make it 17, and perfect from the line. 7-7. In fact, Loyola's 13 of 15 from the line today.
When James was hurt early in the year, missed the game against Creighton, Notre Dame, Cleveland State with a back injury, but has certainly come back strong in Valley play. And you just see the confidence grow at number 24, Montel James. As again, Porter Moser works his bench.
James comes out of the game to another strong hand, 18 points, 9 rebounds. Clemens for Indiana State. Sycamores need a bucket. Smith working on Doyle. Clemens to Christian Smith, and he's fouled on the attempt. Doyle went crashing into him, and Christian Smith will get 3 free throws when we come. You look at the Valley standings right now, you have Wichita State on top, but Southern Illinois and Evansville tied for second with 7-2 records.
And Evansville with that huge overtime win at Southern on Thursday night. But you've got the Big E, Egidius Mustakovicius, who leads the nation in rebounding. Of course, DJ Valentine, the active career scoring leader in NCAA basketball, going against that great backcourt of Ron Baker and Fred Van Vliet. What a matchup.
This Indiana State team down by 6, 6-3 in the Valley. Illinois State is also 6-3. Illinois State leading Missouri State by 4 with just under 2 minutes to go in Springfield. This one a 6-point game at the 3:40 mark. Loyola has led basically throughout for all of 55 seconds.
And the Sycamores came out of that timeout with a little zone action after Smith hit the free throws. This is as close as they've been.
Misses as the shot clock expires. Now Murphy gets it to Brown. Plenty of time for Indiana State. Brown driving and scoring. Devontae Brown gets the basket over Richardson.
That was just sneaky quick.
Cuts
Turn
it
the
to
corner.
4-point game now.
And the Tree's going to stay in this zone. Got it down to 4, as you said, Tom.
Porter Moser wants to talk it over. He calls a timeout with 2:54 to go. Loyola
for the Ramblers.
Milton Doyle, and he's bumped right there by Everett Clemens. So Doyle goes to the free throw line for the first time.
Well, that was a set play, a little misdirection. Bring her back to Doyle with the side cleared. Let him dribble, penetrate, either get to the basket or draw the contact. Work to perfection. Now Doyle has to go to the free throw line and complete the play.
And Milton Doyle making big free throws here. 69% free throw shooter. Doyle with just 4 points today, averaging 11 a game to lead the Ramblers. But big points here down the stretch. And Loyola's 2-7 in the Valley, but the Ramblers have lost 3 games in the Valley in which they had leads at the half. Indiana State, Missouri State, and Bradley, and actually one non-conference game. You just don't want that to happen again if you're Porter Moser. You've got to get a win here.
Boy, that 3-game stretch where they lost those games by a total of 5 points. Or like Porter said, hey, we'd be right there in the top half.
Brown just so good at driving to the basket, and he does, and he's fouled.
Well, that's what a senior does. Puts the team on his back. Brown wills himself to the hoop. Oh, a chance for a 3-point play.
The free throw makes it a 1-possession game. Devontae Brown with 14 points. He's 4 for 5 from the free throw line.
Greg Lansing told me Devontae Brown is the greatest competitor he has ever coached. Works at his game. It's improved tremendously from his freshman year until this year as a senior, the leader for the Sycamores. Trying to bring him back and get a W here on the road.
Loyola 0 for its last 4 from the floor. Team shooting 60% on the day. Turk double team, trapped, can't get out of it. And a timeout called by Loyola. Brenton Scott leads all scorers with 20. 6th time he's enjoyed a 20-plus scoring day.
This is what you call a huge possession.
Shot clock at 7. Richardson to James. Backs in on Murphy. Spins. Kick out. Richardson. And the rebound to guess who? Everett Clemens.
No surprise. But Richardson with a great look on the kick out by Montel James.
4th rebound for Clemens. Always seems to be there as a rebounding guard. And here he is with the pass to Smith. Shot clock at 10 now for Indiana State. Smith in the lane, loves that one-hander and cuts it to 1.
Well, Brenton Scott carried his team in the first half. Here in the last 5 minutes has been the 2 seniors, Brown and Smith, carrying the Sycamores.
The entire section of Indiana State fans roaring behind the Sycamores bench.
Well, Loyola needs a score.
Doyle to James, out of bounds. What's the call? It'll stay here.
Well, Clemens, great defensive move by numbers
on the shot clock. Peterson to Doyle. He's got to let it go. Doyle. That one didn't hit the rim, so it'll be Indiana State ball for 10 from the floor. So here we go. Indiana State hasn't led since the 13:31 mark of the first half. A chance to take the lead and try to walk out of here with a win. Brown falls down, keeps his dribble. Finds Smith in the lane. Christian Smith with another basket to give the Sycamores the lead.
Well, Greg Lansing did. He put 4 guards in with Van Soik, the 3-point shooter, left the lane wide open and told his team, drive it. Smith converts.
James blocked by Van Soik, but a foul.
Well, what a feed by Jeff White. But look at this great offensive move by Greg Lansing. There's nobody in the middle. Smith was right in there and converts. First lead. And Soik now has to guard the 5 position because he didn't have time to sub back on defense.
Indiana State on a 7-0 run. James can only tie. 39.3 seconds.
That was his first miss from the free throw line, and he was 8 for 8 before he stepped up there. You got overtime in your blood right here?
You better believe it.
I can feel it coming.
We're tied in Chicago. 39 seconds. 4th time we're tied this afternoon, and a timeout is called with 30 minutes.
It's going to be on your on-ball defense has to be excellent. You got to take away the drive and do not foul the jump shooter.
Brown with the drive. Out of bounds. It stays with Indiana State.
Well, Jeff out of State.
Clemens inbounds. Brown guarded by White. Watch out for the Devontae Brown drive.
Well, the side is cleared. Well, excellent defense by White.
Shot clock at 5. Brown has to let it go. Rebounded by Indiana State. Scott loses it. The fight on the baseline. And it's to Richardson with 3 seconds. To White. The layup. The block. Time runs out. One's 81-81. Murphy against James. And James wins the tip to Richardson. Loyola, a team that's been banged up, fighting tooth and nail with Indiana State, had the lead virtually the entire game. But Indiana State rallied to force overtime, and this ball is going to go to Indiana State, out of bounds, off Loyola.
Well, nice play by Richland. Lob up to James, but James, a little butter on the fingertips, couldn't handle the pill. You get overtime. You want to score in that first possession. You want to get your momentum going, especially after losing the lead for Loyola. That was a huge possession.
Scott with 20 points on the day.
Richmond has done a good job on Scott in the second half.
Van Soik falling down, can't get that one to bounce in. Murphy rips the ball away from White, and a foul is called against Loyola. They're going to get White.
Well, Murphy goes to war inside. You don't want to mess with this big man. Talked about his quick hands. White's sticking in there, sticking his hand in the cookie jar. Now Murph, who has struggled at the free throw line in this game, he's back at the line for the Sycamores.
And Murphy grazes the rim on that one. Murphy's not a bad free throw shooter, 64% coming into the game.
Yeah, he's 0 for 3 in this game.
Into the teeth of the student section, he makes that one. Sycamores back up by 1.
Indiana State draws first blood in the OT.
White, the toss inside to James, and a foul is called as Montel James was gobbled up by a couple of trees.
Now, this is a great read by James. Little screen and slip. Puts it up high, and then Van Soik from the weak side collapses. James back at the free throw line again for the senior.
James' season high in points is 21. Did that against Western Illinois. A couple of free throws here would equal that. James has 19 to go along with 9 rebounds. He has been very good at the line today. 10 of 11 from the line. 20 points for James.
Well, we highlighted him at the beginning of the telecast about how important it was for James to establish an inside game for Loyola so they could eliminate their scoring droughts.
Brenton Scott, we highlighted him too. He also has 20. As James gives the lead right back to Loyola. Oh, they've gotten their money's worth here today.
And James encouraging his teammates to D up. James hooked up on the Clemens, the point guard.
That one's tipped away. It went off Smith. It went off White and then off Smith and out of bounds back to Loyola.
Well, Jeff White has been tremendous in every part of this game. James with the switch, but look at these quick hands by White. Gets a piece of it, goes off Smith. Ball to Loyola.
Turnover number 14 for Indiana State. That one is tossed away, but there was a whistle before the pass. And a foul on Van Soik.
Tom, they're just playing 4 out, 1 in at the offensive end. And look at James. Boy, he's got his socks in the box.
And that's 5 fouls on Van Soik. So Van Soik fouls out of the game with 16 points on 4 of 7 shooting from 3. And that's a big loss here in this overtime.
Well, it hurts what Greg Lansing did to get back in this game and tie it. He was going with 4 guards and Van Soik at the 3-point line and drive it to the rim. Now you got Big Murph back on the low block, but it puts a defender inside also. Takes away those driving lanes for the Sycamores.
James now with 22 points. That's a season high. Next one from Montel goes. Now 13 of 14 from the free throw line. A career high for Montel James.
Hey, good job for picking the player to highlight at the beginning of this show.
23 points. Previous career high, 22. Last year against Illinois State. Brown. Foul is called. Devontae Brown, his specialty, getting to the free throw line. Trying to chop into this 3-point lead for Loyola.
Well, Brown with a quiet first half, but he has taken this game over late in the second half. Brown with just 4 points at halftime. This is number 16 for the senior out of Killeen, Texas.
You know, what a career he's had. I mean, you think about the point guard that they just had at Indiana State in Jake Odom, one of the best players in school history. And Devontae Brown, who has battled consistency at times, but the explosive player that he is. What a year he's had, his senior year.
And you called their game. He scored thousands of points Wednesday against Missouri State. Devontae Brown just worked to get better and better each season.
A 1-point game again. James working on Murphy. Montel James can't get it to go. Here's Brown.
Well, Big Murph got Montel James out of his comfort area.
Scott. To Clemens. Now Smith with an open three. And Richardson grabs the board. 2.5 minutes to go. All of the points in this overtime have come at the free throw line.
When James wants this ball, he's going to wait for it to come back to his side. He's going to step in and try to post up Murphy.
Doyle driving. Can't get that one to go.
Another rebound by Clemens.
Brown finds an opening. And a foul on Devontae Brown. An offensive foul called on the senior.
Well, Montel James has done it the offensive end. His second charge, great recognition, gets there early. He owns that space to the ceiling. Montel James outside the arc. And you just see his face. He's turned the emotional leader of this Loyola Rambler team.
2 minutes to go. James to Doyle. James sets the screen on Brown. Doyle, short. Murphy grabs the board. And another miss. Another chance for Indiana State. Down by 1.
Well, they forced Doyle to shoot that one off balance.
Open three. Scott won't waste that opportunity. Brenton Scott gives Indiana State the lead by 2. It's Loyola ball. Possession arrow favoring Indiana State. Indiana State hanging on to a couple of timeouts. And a 2-point lead. Turk, he has 19 points. Bumped before the shot. They get Devontae Brown with the foul. For Brown, that's his 4th.
But
here's Devin Turk.
Porter Moser doing a little bit of the same at the offensive end. He's got 4 outside the 3-point arc. He's got Montel James working inside on the block. And they're either trying to feed Montel or drive it into the paint for points or to get to the free throw line.
That's 20 points for Devin Turk. Montel James has 23. It's the first time in about a year they've had 2 players score 20 or more, and a grab and a travel by Christian Smith on that rebound attempt.
Watch this battle for a rebound. Smith comes down off balance, tries to get rid of it before he actually moves his pivot, but gets a travel call.
So Loyola gets another chance. Doyle with the inbound pass to James.
And a new shot clock.
Closing in on a minute on the game clock. Peterson into the lane. Richardson has it. Now Turk dribbles out of trouble.
And a new shot clock again for the Ramblers.
Doyle, their leading scorer. Can't get it to fall, but he'll go to the free throw line where he shoots 69%.
They got a second and third look and new shot clocks. Doyle creates the contact. Can't finish. But a chance to go to the free throw line to give the Ramblers a lead.
And now a tense moment in the building as Milton Doyle steps to the line to try to tie this game. Jeff White comes in. Devin Turk sits down. White, a defensive specialist. He's had a big day, though, with 12 points. That one ties it for Milton Doyle.
Well, Doyle got his legs into that second shot. Did not want to leave it short. Tie game.
And a timeout called by Greg Lance.
They try to spread the court and drive it. There's Van Soik, the three-point specialist, on the bench with 5.
Brown guarded by White. That's the matchup Loyola wants.
Oh, White's been good. Yes, that's a good point.
Murphy screens White, stays with Brown. Brown with the shot clock at 7. Misses that, and a foul is called. And here he is today. 7 of 8. He's going to get 2 free throw attempts, and he hits that one to give Indiana State the lead, 88-87.
But the senior is certainly not afraid of the moment. Stepping up big here in the second half and the overtime for the Sycamores.
2-point lead for Indiana State.
Oh, those two barely tickled its line.
The senior from Killeen, Texas, gives Indiana State the advantage. 14 seconds on the clock. Peterson across the timeline. Peterson in the lane. Peterson, yes! We're tied again. Final seconds. Brown. Richardson, and we're going to a second overtime in Chicago.
Have to go with Murphy in the middle.
And Brown and Murphy each have 4 fouls. So do Rajala and White for Loyola. Peterson lost it, and Peterson's hurt. He's feeling that hip again.
Well, he made the huge basket that put us in the second overtime. Now let's see if he comes down hard on that left hip. Yes.
He's going to come out of the game.
It looks like the right hip that is bothering him. And as Porter Mosier said, it was a game-time decision whether he could play today.
An effort by Peterson, who tied the game at the end of the first overtime. Here's James backing in on Murphy. Murphy has 4 fouls. James missed. Rebound, Murphy grabs it away, and so Indiana State with a chance to go up. Brown driving in the lane, can't get it. Rebound, Murphy, that won't go. And Turk has it for Loyola. Doyle driving.
Page enters the game, number 32.
And Doyle with clutch free throws here in double OT.
They've got Earl Peterson, the senior, out for Loyola, and for the Sycamores on the bench, Devontae Brown and Van Soik.
They replace Peterson with Jeff White, a senior. They replace Brown with Aquarius Page, a freshman. Page, while not as much of an offensive threat, is very quick and very good defensively. Scott nearly lost it. Smith working on White. Clemens, shot clock at 10. Smith, the pull-up. No. Rebound, James. A double-double tonight for James. 23 points and 11 rebounds.
He has been spectacular. page on Doyle.
Doyle hits it in the face of the freshman.
A dagger by Doyle. Top of the key. Great defense, better offense.
Doyle now with 10 points. Scott trying to answer. The pass inside of the basket by Clemens.
Well, Scott is known for a score, but that was excellent vision as Clemens just snuck along the baseline. Brenton Scott with the dime.
James pulls up. A 2-point game, Indiana State looking to tie.
Well, James is kind of sound here in this second overtime, and the first overtime for jump shot rather than taking the ball at Murphy.
And a foul called as Scott went flying. They get Richardson with that infraction. That's number 4 on Richardson.
Well, Richardson trying to get through the screen because Scott's going to do a little pop at the top of the key for a 3.
So Brenton Scott, who has made 17 straight free throws. Another one coming for Scott. Scramble, fight for the rebound. James has it. The Ramblers preserving a 2-point lead.
And Scott, very uncharacteristic, misses both of those throws.
James tries to rip it away from the defender. A foul's called. Basket won't fall. But James goes back to the free throw line where he's 13 of 14.
Well, Tom, man, that trip, James got it in deeper. As he reversed the ball, he's got his feet in the paint. Guys are ripping through that second defender. But Murphy's been forcing James out to about the 8-10 foot range where he's not quite as comfortable as when he gets his socks right in the box.
James, the senior from Louisiana, in his signature game here today. 23 points, make it 24 now with the free throw, 12 rebounds, third double-double of his career.
And Earl Peterson back in the game. Thought he might be done for the evening after aggravating the hip injury.
Back in there. He's 3 different times now I've seen him go down, have to be helped back up. And he comes back into the game. He had the basket at the end of the first overtime. And here we are, double OT.
It's senior urgency. They're not going to keep you out now. We're almost to February, baby.
Love it. Valley basketball. A 4-point lead for Loyola. Can Indiana State answer?
Now, Devontae Brown is the emotional leader of this Sycamore team. He is on the bench. Can someone else in blue step up?
Scott working on Richardson. Finds Smith. White is on him. Scott just needs a little opening. Can't get it. James grabs another board. Had the position. Grabbed the rebound. Rebound number 13 to go with 25 points.
Boy, he has been sensational. Number 24, Montel James for the Ramblers.
Shot clock at 10. Peterson, the dish. White. James. Peterson, 3 seconds. White. And a rebound, Murphy. And an opening for Indiana State.
And a missed opportunity for the Ramblers.
That one missed by Clemens. And the rebound to James. And Clemens came in and fouled him with under a minute to go.
Clemens not a great three-point shooter. In fact, he's only made 1 on the season. Stopped and pulled the trigger. Then immediately fouled as he looked at the clock. Down 4, under a minute left. I just kind of felt when Devontae Brown went to the bench, Tom, it took a little bit of wind out of his sails. of the Indiana State Sycamores.
Well, no question. I mean, he puts this team on his back, he and Christian Smith, seniors, when they have to. Brenton Scott has been the scoring machine today, but when they need to win a game, they give it to Devontae Brown, get to the line.
And Brown sets up Scott for his open jumpers and sets up Smith for his drives.
Grant Persatter has checked into the game for Indiana State, a three-point shooting specialist. In this four-point game, the missed free throw by James, now 15 of 17, make it 16 of 18 from the line. A career-high 14 rebounds to go with 26 points. Here we go, the big chance for Indiana State. Scott for three, got it! In the face of Richardson. Brenton Scott buried.
3-7. They win this game, they'll be 3-7.
Brenton Scott hit a three to send us to this situation. Two-point game, double overtime. Doyle. They'll run the clock down. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Doyle draws two defenders, hits the shot. Milton Doyle, the Chicago native. Scott for three. No. Rebound blocked. Page had it blocked. Doyle fouled. 17.3 on the clock. 5 fouls on Brandon Murphy.
So Milton Doyle, big-time player. He struggled at times this year, but how about this? Off balance, squares his shoulders, keeps his eye on the prize, and gives the Ramblers a 4-point lead.
Now you have to understand the excitement of this game could make this statement sound a little wild, but be careful underestimating Loyola if Milton Doyle finds his confidence. Because if Doyle starts to get his scoring touch back, this Loyola team will pick up and carry that confidence.
And you've got Montel James in the middle, tough to handle. Devin Turk, improved game. Ben Richardson has played excellent. And how about the play? Gets the start today. Jeff White was sensational to start this game for the Ramblers.
First time in almost a decade that Loyola has scored 100 points in a game. That one out of bounds. It goes back to Loyola. Scored 100 points back in 1997 against Robert Morris. Here they are at the century mark in double overtime against Indiana State. Foul by Smith. Turk goes to the line. 10.5 on the clock.
Turk with 20. Montel James with 26. And Doyle, excellent second half. Milton Doyle had a goose egg in the first half. In these two overtimes in the second half, Doyle has stepped up. 14 points, got the free throw line 8 times.
And Turk coming off the hamstring injury to heal up and scored 21 points. I mean, that's a senior who doesn't want this college season to end. Rolls another one in. Devin Turk comes out of the game to a big hand.
And Jeff White, this other senior, had a great start for Loyola back in the game.
Scott with the uncontested layup. It's been a great day for Scott. 28 points. The foul is James is hit by Scott in front of the Indiana State bench, and the celebration begins here in Chicago. They're having some fun with 5.5 seconds left. They want to close this out and pick up Valley victory number 3. Montel James with a huge lift for this team. 26 points, 14 rebounds.
Well, we've had some great games in the Valley. You talk about this one going 2 overtimes. We have Thursday night Evansville at Southern winning that game in overtime. Two outstanding matchups tomorrow with the Shockers visiting Evansville. And of course, the Salukis have to go into the McLeod Center in Northern Iowa.
And while it's certainly disappointing for Indiana State, falling to 6-4 in the Valley as Scott drives in, Indiana State will bounce right back. Greg Lansing's team loses.